face.
You look good on the camera.
Yeah?
You look terrible in person.
Yeah. That'd be an outtake.
Hi guys, it's Emily. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Emily and I do videos about health and fitness and veganism and lifestyle and beauty and everything. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you hit subscribe because I upload a new video every 3 days. So today, by popular demand, we have East Coast Dad in the house. You guys asked for him and he delivered. So today he's going to be telling his story about how a plant-based diet, specifically a starch-based diet, transformed his life and his health. So let's just get into it. Dad, give us a little snapshot of what your health looked like 2 years ago, just before developing a starch-based diet.
Well, I think to give the best answer, I want to go back 10 years, because 10 years ago I weighed 234 pounds.
At 6 feet tall.
Yes. And over the course of a few years, somehow, I don't know exactly how, I got myself down to about 220. And then about 6 years ago, I started swimming. And at that point in time, I was able to lose another 15 or 16 pounds. So fast forward to, say, the end of 2015, because I began the program at the beginning of 2016, so I was about between 200 and 205 pounds. I was on 2 medications for blood pressure, and taking those every day for a number of years. I was probably the average mid to late 50s American, eating whatever the heck he wanted to eat whenever he felt like eating it. And that would be pizza, steaks, sausages, calzones, whatever it was, whatever I felt like eating, I ate. Fast forward to today, I'm about 180 pounds. I am off all medications. The last check of my cholesterol, I was at 111. When the weight loss stabilized, I was able to go through a process with my doctor to wean myself off of these medications to see if I really even needed them. And in the month of May, I was able to get off my second blood pressure medication. I can't wait to get up in the morning, and Emmie knows that. If I'm not up to play golf, I'm up. And
he gets up to play golf when the sun rises.
Yep. When I went fully retired, I was able to balance the swimming program with an exercise program of weightlifting and cardio, be it rowing machines, treadmills, and I actually did my first triathlon this summer. That was an interesting mental challenge, because I in the past, I could not run. My leg would just hurt. I would run 50 yards and I couldn't run. But I didn't, and my leg didn't hurt. And we had fun doing it.
And let's just back up. Last year I was his runner and we came in first place. And this year, Mr. Plant-Based kicked me off the team so that he could do the whole thing himself.
Mm-hmm. And woe be it for me, the 15-year-old kid that passed me 50 yards from the finish line. Congratulations to him. It was great. I was thrilled. I was thrilled for him. But that's kind of where it is. I can't wait to get up in the morning. It's great.
So you're probably wondering what the heck happened in those past 2 years to get him to where he is today. Well, at the beginning of 2016, on my dad's birthday, I sent him a book by Dr. John McDougall called The Starch Solution. If you're not familiar with the Starch Solution, or the starch-based diet, it is a diet free of animal products that revolves around starch, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, corn, with the addition of vegetables and fruits. There is no oil, there is no animal products, there is no restriction either, which means you can eat as much as you want and get fabulous results. So Dad, I send you this book on your 58th birthday.
Yep.
He calls me and said, you accidentally sent one of your books to the house. We don't speak about it again. And then he calls me 1 month later on my birthday. And let me backtrack to the morning of my birthday, where I receive a text message from him. He doesn't text, so
I'm
I think
over 50, I don't text.
He doesn't.
I call.
Exactly. So I get a text from him. It's a picture of a number, and I think his phone is glitching. I don't even pay attention to it. He calls me for my birthday. It turns out he meant to send that picture to me, miracle number 1, and miracle number 2 was that picture was a picture of the scale. And what did the scale tell you about 3 weeks after starting the starch-based diet?
That was the first time my weight cracked 190. I was probably, I think it was 189.9 that I got under that particular milestone, which was interesting because starch and carbohydrates are 180 degrees of what the rest of the world thinks that you should be eating meat and dairy. The meals that we started to adopt, we would have pasta and you could really eat as much pasta as you wanted to. And it was a different kind of full. It wasn't a sick full. Really resulted in immediate weight loss, dramatic, and to the extent of a pound basically every other day.
Why don't you walk us through a day of eating?
Let's start in the morning. I have a large glass of orange juice, potatoes. I fry them because I don't have a better term. I fry them in salt water. Oftentimes fry them with peppers and onions. Call them home fries on steroids. I have become a true fan of some element, either whole wheat or wheat-oriented toast. I will have a dry, shredded wheat, no milk, no sugar, no additives. For lunch can oftentimes be leftovers from whatever we may have had the evening before.
It's always supper. Lunch is
Nothing
supper.
goes to waste here. And we have these tremendous, I call them antipasto types of salads with our potatoes, my cooked potatoes and rice, onions, peppers, banana peppers, roasted red peppers that are not in oil, and oftentimes we'll have brown rice in some kind of a roll up. If we had pasta the night before, it could be pasta the next day with tomato soup.
Lunch is everything but the kitchen sink.
Yep.
It's whatever's in the fridge from supper the night before.
And if your name isn't on it, it's free game. Suppers, we've got in the habit of making our own veggie burgers, and we'll have those with sweet potato fries. I call it Mexican stew. It's a delicious recipe. If anyone needs to know it, Emmie can get it to you. But chickpeas, I never knew what hominy was until I bought it. Pinto beans, and I got a fourth bean by mistake, and it was delicious.
Roman beans.
Yep. Okay. Along with these peppers from Peru, they're purple, and they're almost like suede. They were so tough, and you grind them up, and it's just a delicious lunch, dinner, and lunch. I'll eat white bread, Italian bread with the dinner, and that's all fine. I will make a tremendous homemade recipe for Mexican food, which will be sautéed peppers and onions.
Oh, it's so
Even Emmie
good.
likes them. Homemade refried beans, and again, that's of course with the cooked brown rice. The meals that we make, I don't hear any complaints.
They're delicious.
The stuff that we make, it's very straightforward, it's easy to clean, it's savable, and it's delicious. Sometimes even better the next day.
And we keep it so basic. We're eating rice, beans, potatoes. It's not rocket science. It's so simple. Once you have all those staples, the rice, beans, potatoes, pasta, and all the vegetables, you just throw it together, and whatever you get is what you get. So, what did you do to make this into a lifestyle?
Well, the adoption of a good habit is not all that hard to do if you look at what the benefits would be. When I started into this program, and I will call it a program, a lifestyle if you will, but started seeing the immediate results of getting on the scale and seeing that number just go down and down and down, just continued to get me down to fighting weight, which is basically now less than what I weighed when I graduated from college. And when you get that kind of feedback, positive feedback that it's getting you to where you should be, that in and of itself makes it very easy to maintain. I also do all the food shopping here, and I work off a list, and if it's not on the list, I don't buy it. I go and I work off the list, and I'm not tempted to buy things that I don't need to buy. We just absolutely I just don't do it.
If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So if you have a problem refraining from those tough foods, don't buy it. Like you said, if it's not on the list, it's not being bought. Now I want to talk about, because you touched on this a little bit, that you're not perfect. Vegan police, you can come shoot me, but he does not identify as vegan because every once in a while, once a week, you allow yourself to have 4 ounces of cheese on your pizza.
It's more so every other week.
Every other week.
In the old days, I was a pepperoni and onion kind of guy, and I couldn't put it. You couldn't see the rest of the pizza because of the pepperoni. That changed. The pepperonis came off. I tried, gave it the Scouts my best stab as far as having pizza without cheese, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I just couldn't get myself over the goal line to say, oh, okay, I can do this, and call it a vice, call it whatever you want, but I can't go through life without having pizza. It's my rationalization of not being completely miserable. So I gave it a whirl for a while. It just didn't happen for me. So now when we make pizzas, I buy one small bag of cheese that we have to make two pizzas out of. So the Thai is usually the other half of the pizza, bag of cheese for the pizza, and I don't take more than my fair share. So there is a little bit on there, and whether I can even taste it, I really don't know. But once every other week it happens, and it doesn't seem to do me any incredible things that I wake up the next morning and say, oh God, what did I do to myself? There isn't any of that.
Yeah, and I did the math actually, and in consideration of how many calories you eat per week, I calculated that 98% of your diet is an A+ McDougall approved diet. And 98%, I'm a teacher, that's an A+.
Close enough for government work. Yep.
Right, so
Yep.
he's gotten A+ results, and you've been diligent in making that your system.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gotten the results from it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to stick to that for the rest of your life, that is fabulous, and that is fine by me. You're a golfer, so you understand this analogy that when new people come to golf, they grip the club really tightly. And what ends up happening is they swing and it's a terrible hit because you're not supposed to grip the club that tightly. When you loosen your grip, you're more successful.
Yeah. So as we say, easy swing, easy grip, easy game, easy swing, easy game in the game of golf. And interestingly, in regards to, you compare this to golf. If you're a golfer just starting out and you're absolutely terrible and you shoot 150, well, pretty soon you're going to shoot 130. And then you're going to shoot 100, and then you're going to shoot maybe 95. But it's going to get harder and harder as time goes on to shave 1 or 2 strokes off your game. It's going to be the same thing in this, because starting out you're going to get those immediate results because you're just going to. There's just so much buildup there. But then getting down to, as I like to refer to it, fighting weight, the maintenance of fighting weight, and then say, okay, well, I've accomplished that, I can go back to my old ways. No, because once you get down, like in golf, if you get yourself down to shooting 80, to get yourself to shoot 78 is going to take a lot of work. And what you don't want to do is all of a sudden start shooting 85 again. It's the same thing in this, but it's just a maintenance of a good habit. Okay,
so what advice do you have for people, particularly older men that are starting this lifestyle, or anything in regards to the lifestyle?
Well, again, it's really interesting, and I just had it happen today, where a guy who hadn't seen me in a bit, had to throw the macho piece, well, I gotta have steak and I gotta eat my meat, and their opinion, it's interesting, and it's up to these folks. Their opinion is based on their opinion. Their opinion isn't based on any particular fact that they have to have meat. It's because they think that that's what they have always done and they're comfortable with it. Good luck to them. But I look at someone like that particular person who was here versus myself, and if he needs a side job as Santa Claus in December, he's got it, because he doesn't need the pillow. And good luck to them. But again, it's a mindset that if you want to make that kind of decision for yourself, it's a decision that only you can make, unless your doctor says, listen, if you don't do this, you're gonna really suffer the consequences. And usually it's not like, 10 years down the road, you're going to suffer the consequences within 90 days, or you've already suffered the consequences. That's unfortunately, you're going to, a lot of people finally, their attention is achieved, because it may be too late. And I don't sit and try to preach to anybody, well, you should really, no, because they'll only do it if they want to do it. And if they want to do it, and I'm glad to tell them what it is that I do, and it's not that complicated. But I will say to those that need to be convinced or need to find a reason to not eat meat or dairy products, there's a book called Project Animal Farm. That would be the book for you to read.
So almost 2 years ago, I sent my book, The Starch Solution, which we have passed on to many people. And, almost 2 years later, I'm sitting next to my healthy, vibrant, active, living dad who doesn't have any health issues. And I know that years from now, if I ever have kids, they're gonna have a healthy grandfather who can run around with them.
Run
That's and that is thanks to this book and the plant-based lifestyle. So thank you for adopting this lifestyle. It means a
Pleasure's
lot to
mine.
me. So remember, easy swing, easy game, loosen your grip. You don't have to be perfect. He's perfect 98% of the time and has A+ results from it. And he has transformed his life thanks to Dr. John McDougall, the love of my life, and the real love of my life.
That's right.
So thank you, Dad. Best dad in the world.
And yeah, if there's any further questions or follow-up questions, you get them over to Emily, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to have a squeakle.
So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Peace out. Good?
Get the heck out of here.
Woo!